Hey, welcome back, TikTok. I'm your host, Shitass Jofu, and we're ranking all the maps. Um,
Let's get started with it.
alright.
Antarctica.
Uh, mid as fuck.
Mid
Whatever.
as fuck.
I actually
Ass.
I like Antarctica actually.
Dog shit opinion. Mid as fuck.
I'll,
Because
I'll put it at C.
I was gonna say I'll put it at C because I feel like the only two versions of this map I can remember are the drill one and the one with like the weird like U shape in the middle. I can't remember the third map.
Blizzard World.
S tier. Actually,
H.
mid as fuck. It has such shitty fucking doors.
No, I think it's B, but mostly just because the first point is super choke heavy, which is not great. But once you get past that first choke, there's a little bit more open play. But once you cap the point and actually start pushing the cart, the like actual middle part of it is pretty good. Like there's a lot of open areas, there's a lot more open play, a lot more variety of plays. It's a little bit more choke heavy once you get to the final points, but overall pretty good.
Circuit. No. Yeah.
Yeah, Circuit Royale.
Circuit Royale. I'll put that at.
That's S. I'm not gonna lie. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I feel like Circuit Royale is a high A.
Yeah.
Because like it's really good. Like I said before, a lot of open areas, a lot of counterplay. First area is a little bit choke heavy, but you can do that cool shit with the junk, like the triple mine junk over top. So I think it's pretty good.
This is B,
Colosseo.
Because like I mean, push maps suck, but it's like the best out of the push maps.
No,
what's the other push map?
New Queen Street and Esperanza.
Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
suck,
Okay.
bro.
So
I like New Queen Street.
I like New Queen Street better, so I'll put it in B.
Dorado.
Dorado, I feel like is a
That's
solid.
awesome.
I feel like it's a solid A tier.
Yeah.
Like lots of great verticality, lots of great cover, lots of great ways to play, especially for that final point.
Eichenwald, easy
If
S.
you put that shit in S, I'm
Eichenwald is
suing
an
Tom
easy
Holland.
S.
Easy S.
I feel like it has the same strengths as what's it called, Blizzard World, where there's a lot of open areas, but also some choke points, which means you can hold it down.
Esperanza.
Dog shit.
Yeah.
Esperanza,
Literal,
Esperanza, I feel like is probably C, like maybe high C, because like push maps suck, but I feel like the ability for you to be staggered and have to walk such a far distance for the push map, especially on Esperanza, is very evident.
Yeah.
This shit's mid as fuck.
Gibraltar. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I love Watchpoint Gibraltar.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Are you kidding me? I love Watchpoint. I feel like it's a solid A.
No.
Damn.
There's like,
I'll put it.
My argument is there are three solid sections for it. There's the beginning area, initial push, then there's first cap, then there's the actual hangar itself, and then there's the third point. Three very distinct sections, all with various levels of open interplay. I do think the choke points suck, especially going into the hangar, but it's still a pretty fun map.
My point is that it's mid as fuck.
But like, okay, so I'm providing actual reasons here, and you guys are just saying, giving your tier numbers.
Okay. Havana.
Havana is A or S for me. I love Havana.
It's a B.
Especially that final point. That final point is so good.
No.
I feel like Havana is like low A for me. It's good, but I feel like it's too open sightline dominated. Like especially for that first point, I feel like you have to run a Widow or a Widow, a Winston, or a Sigma, or even a Diva to counter the Widow that's never going to be sitting up on that balcony.
It's a good Junkrat map for me.
Is that your only metric for judging these maps?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's a good Genji map, so it's S for me.
Like, how well do I play as Junkrat?
Yeah.
Why Hollywood is like a solid A or B for me. It's like I've had such mixed experiences with this shit.
For me, Hollywood's a mid B. Like again, first Hollywood choke point sucks so much. Like it's so hard to get through because literally you only have three lanes. You have that big archway, you have that side room, and then you have over the top. But once you do over the top, if you fail your over the top push, they're gonna expect it every time. And then so now you've only got two ways.
This is like a hog Lucio map.
Ilios, I feel like is a solid. I feel like would argue is either high A or S tier.
Really? I
Yeah.
think that is like C personally. Cause
Yeah.
I feel like it's so like you're so limited to certain characters. Like certain characters are just kind of unplayable on that map.
I would argue the opposite. I feel like there's a lot of interplay. I feel like there's a lot of open areas. I feel like there's a lot more like viability with different heroes. Like obviously you have your Hogs, your Lucios, your Fars, your Echoes, and things like that. But like the fact that I was able to run Junker Queen on that map, like
I'll put it
That's
at
true,
B.
but she works well on maps that aren't like ridiculously open, like Junkrat Town.
Not
Speaking
really.
of Junkrat Town,
She's got no defense.
fucking love that map.
Junkertown, I feel like is an S tier.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Junkertown's
Same
this
with
year.
King's Row, bro. King's Row is
Yep.
my favorite map by
No,
far.
I would say I would say Junkertown is either a high A or S, just because first point sucks with Widow. You only get really one good defense for first point, but everything else past that, pretty fun.
S.
So
King's Row is nice. Lijon Tower is mid as fuck though.
Yeah.
King's Row I would say was an A, not an S, but
Lijiang Tower is mid.
I love Lijiang.
Fuck, bro. Every time I think we have a solid mid as fuck, it's always you think it's not the fuck.
Well, no, because I feel like one, there needs to be a more even distribution, especially when it comes to tier lists, but also because much like I said before, much like with what's it called, with Ilios, like there's a lot of availability here. There's a lot of ways to play. Like obviously you have your echoes, your sims, things like that, but there's a lot more you can play here.
True.
I just hate this map. It always feels one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
This map's also mid as fuck.
Midtown?
Midtown?
It's...
It's really called Midtown for a reason.
I feel like Midtown struggles a lot with the same thing with what's it called? The Watchpoint Gibraltar, where there's 3 very distinct sections of the map, which is good, but also very choke heavy on certain sections of the map, very easy to hold down certain sections of the map, and you know, it's hard to do anything if you're not playing specific characters on it. So I probably give it like a high C.
Mm-hmm. Nepal.
I personally give a C.
I hate Nepal.
I like one of the 3 sections that this map has to offer.
Yeah.
I like Nepal, but I also recognize that it is also like mid. Like it's not great.
Okay, mid as fuck it is.
Like I said before, very choke heavy, very not great. You know.
New Queen Street is like an A for me.
New Queen Street is an A. It is I think the probably solidest push map of all of them.
I think it's solid, like design-wise. I just hate it at the same time. I feel like it's so easy to get stuck on everything on that map.
Numbani.
My argument for New Queen Street is that, especially the middle point, where the robot starts, that U shape provides so much like variation in environment, but also because it's a U shape, you're going through the same environment in different areas and kind of have to push and pull back on different parts of the map, which is to push his strength. So I think it's a very strong map that way.
Numbani.
Here because I think it has like the literal like best like choke points out of every map. I think the only thing that sucks is when you're attacking on that second like door. If you're getting spawn trapped, it's really hard to get out of it. But
you're really gonna put Numbani in A, really?
I didn't hear what Derek said. I
said S.
I say it's probably like either mid or C. I think it's way too choke heavy.
Oh, dude, I feel like it's so good. Map just put that shit in mid, bro. Put it at least in C.
No.
Well, see, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of the older maps, especially like I said before, like especially like a lot of the maps we put in C, like
it's easy to get fucked.
Like Watchpoint, like Hollywood. There's so many choke points, which sucks because what's interesting, especially, is that that's exactly the same design philosophy as early TF2, where a lot of the maps are very choke point heavy and require either a lot of explosives or basically require an uber charge to push through.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason I love Numbani so much is because it has really good high ground distribution. To the point that you're not OP as fuck by being on high ground, but you're also like in a better position than not being on.
I will argue that. That's why I think it belongs in C, because it is really good in terms of verticality, and there's a lot of difference there. But I do think it's very much a product of its time.
Yeah, move that shit up at least to C, bro.
Just
kidding. No.
Okay.
No, you a whole bitch, bro. You biased as fuck.
All right.
This map is dog shit. Literal dog shit. This
I know. I love this map.
I'm gonna put it at B.
The only thing that's good on this map is Junkrat. Nothing else is good, bro.
True.
No, again, I would argue it's the same point I've made for Blizzard World. I argue the same point it's made. Same for Rialto. It's the same point I've made for Ilios. There's a lot of choke heavy stuff, yes, but especially with that area with the cars, especially with that area, like all the other areas, there's a lot of potential for different hero comps and like a lot of be able to push certain things and have a lot of like. I think that the idea of a good map is both design philosophy and also can you play multiple heroes on it. Like, obviously, when you're playing something like Junkertown, you have to have a Widow, or you have to have an Ashe. You have to have some kind of long-range poke character. You cannot play close, because you will get fucked by whatever team is pushing. But, you know, you gotta have the variety.
I fucking hate this map so fucking bad, but the next 3 are S, in my opinion.
Busan, I love Busan. Busan is a solid A tier for me.
I hate this shit, bro. I feel like it's always like you either get hard stomped or you're hard stomping. I've never seen a close fight on this map.
Oh, is this Busan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mecha Base, the open areas. Again, I would argue this same thing before as I said for the previous one. There's a lot of potential for different heroes. There's a lot of potential for different areas. There's a lot of potential for different comebacks.
I think if you don't run dive on that map, you're kind of throwing.
Well, no, it depends honestly. Like not necessarily, because I think that you can like obviously you have to have a widow on the high ground there, but if you run dive there or you've run different areas, you're good.
Yeah,
all right.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you need to run dive on that map.
Paricio.
I personally think this map's an S tier. I think every single area is designed perfectly in it.
I do think this map is an S tier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think I'd probably put an A actually, honestly, because like I feel like the first point is very choke heavy, but it's very hard. But once you push forward into that choke, you've got a lot more open area there. Or alternatively, once you cap that first point, there's a lot more open areas for that.
I feel like if they didn't have the building in front of the spawn room, it would be very easy to move.
No, I think every single point there is just S tier. Like I think the whole design of the map is just really good.
Rialto is an easy S.
I'd put this shit in S if it wasn't for that first point. That first point is so dog shit that I'd put it in mid just for it, but I'd drop it to A at least.
I would agree. I do think that the first point, especially that very beginning first point, is very difficult. Like if you hard hold there, like you can hard hold it really easily. But if you give any kind of space backwards, you just fold. I'd probably give it an A.
I'll give it an A for y'all, but I think it's an easy S.
I would like to point out for Rialto though, when it comes to that last point, the reason I think that Rialto is a higher A tier is simply because in the last point you don't feel like it's a choke point until the very end. Like until that card is at the very end, there is so much room to maneuver. There's so much ability to put forward. But once you're in that last point, you are committed to that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The fuck.
66.
Yes.
I put this shit at A.
Yeah.
I think again the first point.
It's good.
Sucks,
it's good, but it's not worthy of S.
I would say it's A, definitely. I feel like it actually suffers from the opposite problem, where there's a lot of open sight lines, there's a lot of great open stuff, and there's a lot more room for, being open and doing a lot more cool stuff with it. But being open doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing, because it does lead to a lot of, distance characters, it leads to a lot of, spam, it leads to a lot of, difficult problems.
Alright.
This map, bro, I feel like this shit's S, mainly because, dude, ever since this map came out, I have not had a single complaint about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about this map has bothered me in the slightest.
I love it.
I honestly think that it's a high rated map. I think it probably either A or S, simply because again, there's good long sight lines, but they don't feel unfair. Like especially if you have that poke character on high ground like an Ashe or a Widowmaker or a Hanzo, you just go up those stairs and you fuck him up. You push forward and you go around those stairs, you fuck him up. You go above him, you fuck him up. Like there's so much more counterplay there when it comes to everything else.
All right, that's the tier list. Thanks for watching. Fuck you.
All right, thanks for watching. Shut your fucking PBS kids dumbass up, bro.
Thanks for watching, fellow shitters. My name is Shitass, and I'm ready to shit out.